What's up, everybody? So word on the street is we've got a bit of fun headed our way in the form of Commander Masters. Woo! This is literally something that Commander players have been hoping for years would come after the large success of Commander Legends. This is literally a product for us. There are a few flaws I've seen right out the gate, of course, largely tied to the price of the product. Like, come on, Wizards, $309 for 4 pre-con decks? I got rent to pay and that shit got expensive too. Y'all didn't need to join in. That trickles down to $77.26 per deck. Yikes. But that aside, we do have word that there are going to be 4 pre-con decks released alongside of this product. We have Eldrazi Unbound, Enduring Enchantments, Planeswalker Party, and Sliver Swarm. You almost had my name right. I am genuinely hyped for this, although I heavily encouraged buying the singles from this set if you can. The Eldrazi deck will also be the first release of a colorless Commander pre-con deck. This is a design space I'm very excited to see them explore. I think one of the biggest obstacles that colorless decks have at the moment is their utter lack of access to most of the components a normal Commander deck might have, such as ramp, card draw, interaction. They do exist in the colorless space to some capacity, but by and far the cards that these decks have had to rely on are clunky and ineffective. And I'm anticipating this product might address that to some extent, give us some cards to help ramp out and get out some of those beefy tentacly friends. The Enduring Enchantments deck I anticipate is going to have some control strategies in it. I'm going to predict this will be the best of the 4, since Enchantress decks are powerful and synergistic. I'm a little biased, it's my favorite of the 4 themes they've announced. I'm unsure as to which Enchantresses and enchantment cards will be included to this, as prior incarnations such as the Commander Precon deck in Bant left a lot to be desired in terms of the engines these decks have at their disposal. Given that steeper price tag though, I expect name brand goodies, not store brand. Give me that bougie Argothian Enchantress, please. I'm going to level with you. I'm kind of meh towards the Planeswalker Party Precon. Clearly we're getting Super Friends as one of the themes for this set, and I expect that these colors are what Wizards' R&D determined had the best Planeswalkers to collect. I expect this deck to have plenty of Pillow Fort style cards to help protect you and your Planeswalker friends from harm, and then a bunch of proliferate stuff that will help you get to the ultimates on your better walkers. The question is, what level are we going to be getting with these Planeswalkers? Are we going to be getting Jace the Mind Sculptor maybe? I know Jace is kind of MIA in terms of we're going to be seeing him in the future, but you also have a bunch of maybe not so great Planeswalkers that I don't want Nahiri, I'm sorry. And now, the Sliver Swarm has me hyped. It also made me check if Sliver Overlord was on the reserved list. The answer is he is not, so he better be in this deck, damn it. Slivers in the past were a potent tribal deck, if not the most powerful of the tribes at the time. Each sliver is a lord in its own right. It grants an ability or some sort of static level buff to your entire board of slivers, and so as you developed your board state, your army became more resilient and more threatening. I think the only drawback of these was the mana value for some of the better slivers was kind of up there, and given how many slots had to be dedicated to just sliver, you would really have to prioritize what would make that final cut. I'm excited to see how Wizards decides to modernize what could easily be the most powerful tribe in Commander, and if they have a proper comeback. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this deck, as I think this has the most potential of any of the decks to be a grand slam. Now with these decks on the horizon, I normally would have done some "here are the cards you should be buying now in anticipation for these decks" kind of bit, but given the price tag of these decks, my expectations are through the roof of what should already be in the deck. If I am shelling out $75 for a single Commander Precon deck, I'd better be getting Tiffany cufflinks in the box instead of those stupid cardboard punch-outs. That being said, I did want to talk about a few of the cards that I'd like to see actually get reprinted, and given the high hopes this product has me in, I'd better be right about some of these. The biggest offenders are Jeweled Lotus and Mana Crypt. Let's be honest, they're both about as worthy of staple status as Sol Ring. The only thing keeping them out of the club is their price tag. Both of these cards are worth well over $100, and quite frankly, it's an affront to Commander players. I don't care about the secondary market, or the investors, or the whale shark alpha males trying to make a collection worth a fortune. Print my staples into the ground. You did it with Arcane Signet, Wizards. Show a spine and print them. The hoarders can go buy a Rolls Royce or whatever if they need to show some weird status symbols to make them feel better. Give me my cards. Now for actual cards. I would like to see Drannith Magistrate find its way into a pre-con deck. Now before you come at me with torches and pitchforks, I love this card's design for a number of reasons. It is a control piece. It is one of my favorite stacks pieces, and if it's left alone, it shuts off access to anything that's sitting in the command zone. That brings me to the next point. It draws out the removal. If your opponent needs to get rid of your Magistrate, they're going to have to utilize whatever they are holding up in their hands to remove it, which means they can't use it for whatever else you might be holding on to. 3 of the 4 decks in this set have white in them, and given I will absolutely be building my enchantments deck into an Enchantress Stacks deck because I play Chaotic Evil, I expect it from one of them. I absolutely expect Cyclonic Rift to be in the 2 decks that have blue, even if it's just in one. Just gimme. I think Commander players who are new to the format need to get the good cards that will hype them up to get further into the format, and this is something I've begun to look at pre-con decks very harshly for. I actually really hate that some of the board wipes have been printed into oblivion. Fumigate! And others, ones especially that see heavy play among players with disposable income, have been printed minimally. I think Cyclonic Rift's got 1 printing in the Teferi pre-con deck almost 10 years ago. It's the go-to blue board wipe, and it only sees play in Commander, and so there is no reason why it can't be included in more Commander product. Dockside Extortionist is something I expect. It's the red card of choice these days, and I know a lot of folks will think that it's overpowered and deserving of a ban, but I don't think it's yet hit that level of problematic gameplay. It's a very strong ramp card that isn't in green, which is something that decks like Boros or Izzet might actually need if they want to keep up with the people who are in green. I'm going to be frank with you. I'm sure you noticed I'm swinging at higher priced cards and very popular cards, and maybe I'm wrong to have these sort of expectations from a pre-con deck. My problem is the prices of these decks is high on the pre-order. It is going to be high when it's released, and if we're going off of just what the Amazon pre-order is for the 4 Commander decks, if I am paying double what these decks used to cost, I had better get something that will make my jaw drop. I took a look at the deck lists of the last 2 sets, and to be blunt, none of them felt anything inspired. A minuscule assortment of reprints, and that's it. We still have a bloated price tag, and even though I understand that these are meant to be geared towards newer players, we cannot ignore the players who buy these who are established players. They're either looking for a good jump off point into a new deck or easier access to out of print pricey cards. Wizards needs to start addressing this. The splash page Wizards has up for us about this set says that they are powerfully constructed and masters level strategies. Given the power level that these 4 themes are known for, it would be a disappointment to see them squander a higher price tag with the same arbitrary bulk that they've been giving to us for years. Exploration has dropped significantly in price at the moment from its inclusion as a rare in Dominaria Remastered. It should absolutely be in Commander Precons. We have an Enchantments Matter Precon coming up. Let's go! I know a lot of players have settled with Burgeoning that fills a similar role, but I think Exploration allowing you to act on your turns is a lot greater value than having a reactive play on your opponent's turns. It should be included. Now, I've suggested a card from all the colors except black thus far, and while I would expect plenty of spice from them swamps, like some of the better tutors, I'm not getting my hopes all the way up there. The fact that the Enchantments deck is likely going to be where the better black cards would end up has me reconsidering. The Slivers deck is largely going to end up as just sliver, tutor, color, fixing ramp. I don't anticipate alternative strategies from that deck. other than play slivers, play some more slivers, rawr. I would say if we're going to get one black card in these 4 precon decks worth its weight, it should be Deadly Rollick. It's perhaps the best black removal spell right now, and it exiles getting around those pesky indestructible cards. Long story short, I have a lot of expectations from Commander's Masters, but I want to hear from you. What do you think we should expect from this set? Am I setting the bar too high, or should we expect the pricier reprints from these products? We've already seen that Jeweled Lotus is going to be in the set itself, but I think we should start addressing it like we do with Arcane Signet, where it's actually in the precons. Everyone should be able to play these cards. I don't see why the price has to be the barrier to entry for this. The bottom line falls, should Commander products cater exclusively to players newer to the format and give them basic learning instructions for the format? Or should we give some inclusions for the established players looking for a break of the price with the single cards? Where does that line have to fall? And if we should keep these decks just for beginner players, well, what are we going to start offering the established players? Let me hear your thoughts below. I hope you enjoyed this rant of a video. I'm sorry if this felt negative. I'm hype about this product, but I really don't want to be disappointed. Please, Wizards, my paycheck only stretches so far. Please don't make me poorer. Anyway, love you all. I'll see you all in the next video. Ciao.